Last time on Cyberphile, we cleared the upper half of the Ziggurat of Dust, including the boss within, got ourselves our last brand, and revisited a ton of areas to nab some of the items we just couldn't quite reach without certain brands. Hello and welcome back to another episode of From the Depths, Cyberphile's 100% lore-enhanced walkthrough of Salt and Sanctuary. So, now it is time for us to face the bottom half of the Ziggurat of Dust, after making mostly short work of the top half and cleaning up most, if not all, of all the things that we needed to get on the way. Oh, I still need to give Fern his bag of earth. We'll do that at some point. So, but first, let's get rid of these vexing brats and spiders as well. So, the Ziggurat of Dust is, as I've said in the past, a tomb for the great Sun King of Colchis, but also his brother resides at the very bottom. So, the Sun King went in the very top, and his brother Tamin went at the very bottom, which can help clue you in to how their relationship kind of was. And I talked a lot about that in the last episode. So at the bottom we have the brother Tamin, and as I said before, Tamin contracted the Sandin Plague and used clay to build his body up, and the clay sort of absorbed the disease to, not completely, but a decent amount, and was able to make him live a little longer, to the chagrin of Quan, because now his brother is alive longer to rule Colchis, even though it's supposed to be him. So as I said before, they were both powerful magicians, and Tamin may be one of the most powerful humans in the game as far as magic goes. And the reason for that is that he is the only character in the entire game. If we assume Kraken do whatever it is they want to do, then we can assume that Tamin is one of the most powerful people in the game, as he can control wretch feeders. So you see those wretch feeders and how they have those clay masks on? The clay masks that Tamin was able to fashion makes him able to control those wretch feeders, which, as you remember, are minor Kraken. Nobody else can control the Kraken. Nobody. Only Tamin was able to. So now those wretch feeders, which are now known as clay hybrids, they watch the bottoms. They fiercely defend Tamin's grave, which is at the bottom, as I said before, of the Ziggurat of Dust. And we will meet with Tamin before long. Down here we've got some more saltless. Never let those guys live. And we are just making some progress in the lower half of the Ziggurat of Dust. The lower half of Ziggurat of Dust has a lot of wide open spaces, and it's easy to get lost and put on a weird path and stuff, so we're just kinda going around. Luckily, I know this game like the back of my hand, more or less, so we won't get lost, I promise. Here's something I always thought that was kind of interesting. Kind of like a glitch or a bug. But whenever you have an effect, or even magic abilities, and you're upside down, they don't look right. Like, see, my glowingness is like glowing underneath me as if I was standing upright. And if you use any spells that are supposed to come from the top of the screen, like there's an a prayer that comes at the top of the screen, it just does not work right while you're upside down there, because it still tries to come from the top and then gets caught up in the ceiling or the floor or something like that. That's kind of annoying. Got the Bloodluster ring, which enables enemies to turn into bloody bits more often. So now let's head back. One barricade removed. Now we just need to hit the other one. But before we do that, let's see what else there is to see over here. There's an item that we can get up here. Just a war horn, which apparently raises your stamina quickly. I feel like your stamina raises quickly enough on its own. What's the real point of a war horn? And that gives us a shortcut back to the entrance of the Ziggurat. And then over here leads us to a couple more items. And here we are. The Burning Sky Ring, yet another magician ring that we won't be using. So, if you make a magical build of any sort, you can definitely expect to use a lot of rings. I'm gonna double back and open up that other barricade, which is always a source of stress for me in my Salt and Sanctuary playthroughs, because it's very easy to get trapped and dead here. So you can see that trap there. I almost always end up getting hit by it. Didn't this time. But that opens up that, and then that'll summon 2 clay hybrids. Perfect. And now, if we carefully follow this pathway, we can get one of the strongest great axes in the game, which of course we won't be using, but I'm showing you everything. The Castaway's Great Axe. Great something. It's an anchor, okay? It's a big anchor. And it's actually pretty neat. One day I want to make a fisherman build who only uses spears and the weapons that you can find underwater, and that anchor will be his final weapon. Always wanted to try that. Maybe during the Let's Talk session I can do that. Or maybe I'll just do New Game Plus. I don't know, it's up to you guys. Let me know in the comments what kind of challenges you'd like to see me tackle in upcoming Let's Talk lore videos. Streams. So down here we're getting pretty much to the bottom of the Ziggurat of Dust. But first, let's activate an incredibly useful shortcut, which will bring us back up to the sanctuary by the far beach. So we've got enough equip rate that we can use most of the resplendent armor now. Isn't it resplendent? Isn't it glorious? I love it. It's really cool, I think. I had to take off the Mask of Splendor though for now, because otherwise that would push us past the 75% equip rate, and then we're not worth much of anything at that point. So now we're going to head back down, and we are going to face off with, that was kind of dumb of me, but whatever, with the next boss, the boss of the Ziggurat of Dust, the second boss of the Ziggurat of Dust. As you probably could have expected, it's Tam-In, Quan-In's brother. Now, one more thing to say about Tam-In before we meet him is that he was a big follower of the Three. So what he did was he built 3 clay faces so that he could better attune with the 3. And this is what he's become as the clay built up and built up. He become this giant monstrosity, which, as you probably could have expected, his brother hated the fact that he became this terrible monstrosity. I mean, if my little brother became that, I would be terrified too. And we gotta be careful, I gotta manage my stamina a little better. Surprisingly, for this guy's size, it doesn't really do that much damage. I was always shocked by how easy this fight tends to be. I do believe he resists strike damage pretty well though, so if you're rocking a hammer or something else with a with strike damage, you can expect to have a long drawn-out fight with him. But luckily we're doing slash, so we're in good shape. Gotta watch for the triple stomp. Oh, I thought I was out of there. Should have used the dart brand. And if you can roll just at the right time, you can avoid the body slam, the belly flop. Oops. Sometimes he can double combo you with the stomp, and that's never good. I'm surprised we got hit by that one. That's alright. Battle can be slow going, depending on which moves he ends up using on you. But here we go, we got him. So with Tam in down, we can head further down below the Ziggurat of Dust. And we'll meet with the ever-disturbing Scarecrow yet again. But first, sure, I'll take a checkpoint sort of thing. And the reason that checkpoint's there is because you can approach this boss battle from the other side, depending on which battles you fight first. And here he is. Does it know what I have done? I mean, I do, but I take the things I desire. I have taken so many things from so many people. Souls like scraps, bound in dying flesh, I claim them. Kingdoms of dust and lies, petty princes, corrupt lords, I claim them. So, are you starting to get the gist here? There is some dark, sinister creature on this island that is taking things from the mainland. Now, don't misunderstand though, he's not taking... He's taking the souls and the bodies, for sure. Those are all the various things that we end up fighting. But what he's not taking are the lands. So, he does not really have Askaria's Red Hall of Cages, for instance, down here. Instead, he's got a copy of it. So that's kind of what's going on here, and we'll see why and how maybe a little bit later. But for now, all you need to know is that there's something down here collecting, and the Black Sand Sorcerer spoke of that as well. He said there's a demon down here that collects, or maybe the island itself collects. So, just something to keep in the back of your mind. Secret area that leads to Hager's Cavern. I missed the ladder on the way down there. My mistake. And now we're going to head further down into the ruined temple. Now, it's unknown, really, what the ruined temple is, or where it was on the mainland. However, we could assume that maybe it is, in fact, below the Ziggurat of Dust, seeing as it is here. Or... Wow, I can't believe we got him with that. That was crazy. Double kill with that one. But what's interesting is that if there's this great temple underneath the Ziggurat, I'm fairly certain that the Sun King of Kolkis did not put it there. Meaning, there might have been another civilization on the mainland well before the events of Salt and Sanctuary. You're free to speculate what that could mean, but there's no concrete evidence on any of it. But speculation's always fun. So now we can open up that little pathway. And over here is another direction that we can go through. Here we've got some more hanged men. Remember those guys from way back in the Red Hall of Cages? And their cool side story of being innocent Karhi people who wanted to die for their loved ones. Really cool enemy, I think. So this leads to the other side of the Red Hall of Cages. So just open that up and grab the ring as we go. We're just grabbing items and clearing the ruined temple as we go. We'll just drop here, that's fine. Now we've doubled back. Down here, the pathway that we opened before. Another thing of arms to deal with. 2 of them, actually. There we go, no problem. I love me my golden wine. It lasts for a decent amount of time, gives you good buffs. There's no reason not to use golden wine if you're a House of Splendor follower. There we go, got yet another ring. And we get to meet another enemy that is really interesting and really mysterious. There it is, the Mother Merrill. What it is it looks like a bird sort of thing with a bird cage on the bottom of it. And it's said that those things desperately want to be mothers, but can't be. I mean, they're some sort of disturbing bird-headed abomination, so it makes sense that they're not able to be. But anything that they capture in their cage, they consider to be their child. And it's really interesting. There's not anything else written about them, but I just think it's a really cool enemy idea, really cool design. I wish there was more to them, but we'll take what we can get at this point. And we're just opening up shortcuts and pathways left and right. It looks like this episode's gonna run a little long. Sorry about that, I guess, but hey, whatever, right? There's a way that we can go over to the left, but we're not gonna deal with it just yet. We will later. There's other bits of lore that I want to accomplish before we start talking about what's off in that direction. But here is our Sanctuary of the Ruined Temple. And you're not going to want to miss the next episode because we are incredibly close to the next boss, the boss of the Ruined Temple, and he has some really cool lore behind him. So look forward to the next episode of From the Depths with Cyberphile. I'll see you then. Hey, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more Cyberphile content. And if you like this video, show me with that little thumbs up button. If you liked this video, you might like one of my other videos. You can click right on the boxes to jump to them. Cyberphile, offline.